Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the things is like with nuclear is like, uh, you know, the disasters are, scary events. They're big. They impact big, big footprints, and they have kind of, large, impacts on people. I mean, I think like the thing with nuclear, but attitudes towards nuclear, I think, are changing. In fact, like a lot of like with the younger demographics, like the attitudes towards nuclear are changing. I think kind of in a recognition of like we need a lot of like we need firm, clean power on the system, and nuclear doesn't have any emissions associated with the generation of electricity, and that's not just carbon emissions, but that's criteria air pollutant emissions that create things like smog and acid rain and other types of things like that, like other fuels can, like coal and natural gas. And so, I, but the thing is like the old way of building like nuclear is we would build big gigawatt scale plants. And we really stopped doing that in like the 1980s, and our domestic supply chains really atrophied. In fact, there's only like one place in the world that can forge the containment dome to go onto the top of these like big nuclear facilities, like the big AP-1000s, and it's in South Korea. Like we don't even have all of the supply chain here to be able to do that. And so, and because these are big gigawatt scale plants, like the risk that companies take in deploying those is big. And like I was talking about with solar and other types of things, the name of the game has gone modular. It's gotten smaller, going up for smaller chunks that maybe you can kind of squeeze together. And so, um, one of the things, and so that is also where people are trying to take nuclear, trying to do SMRs or small modular reactors, to be able to get them to the point where you can build them inside of factories and take on less capital risk. And so, I mean, I think a lot of it right now is like we just haven't built them, and so we haven't well we haven't built many of the big plants in a while, and we've never built one of the smaller ones in terms of like a commercial grade operations system. There's pilots and other types of things like that are happening, but it's kind of like a chicken and an egg type thing. Is like our you know ha, you know the industry wants to see that it works before it invests in it, but you need money to show that it works, or you need investment to show that it works. And so it's kind of like this is, I think, where government is, should be the one who steps in to kind of bootstrap a couple of these things, just like we did with the original, nuclear power plants, 50 plus years ago.
What what to you would that government intervention look like? Is it through tax incentives or just giving
Order
them the
books.
I'm sorry?
No, I mean, order books. I mean, I think it's like, I think the companies need, um, like, to get 100 ordered on the books to be able to get the financials in place to build their factories, get their supply chains in order, and like start making them. Like you're not going to be able to do all of that infrastructure just for one. Like, and if someone's going to invest in that infrastructure when you've only got one on the order book, like they're taking a huge risk, right? But if the government comes in and says, okay, we'll build the first 50, and then we'll build like we'll pay for half of the second 50 or something like that, then you really start to be able to kind of line up you know um, all the other supply chains. You start to get the labor force, like all these other things that you need, like to be able to operate the system. Like it's not something you can just spin up tomorrow.